Incredible day, family. Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald. On today, I want to focus on a very familiar topic that I've already spoken about prior. And even to be specific, there is 2 episodes that I've already recorded on this topic. Episode number 1 would be episode 48 and episode 52, right? And during those episodes, I was making you aware about your language and how we need to situate some things, how we need to understand that we have power in our words. But on today, I want to be a little bit specific when it comes to the language. Before I dive deep and go in, I want to state something to you, and if I offend you, that's what I'm looking for, right? The statement I want to tell you really quickly is you are the problem. Now, I know you didn't come on here to listen to my podcast just for me to tell you that you're the problem. But the fact of the matter is, what's holding you back, what's stopping you, and what's keeping you stuck in the same situations is not your ability to do a thing, but in actuality, the things that's coming out of your mouth on a daily basis. So today I want to fix that because I want to be a little bit specific, right? Another reason why I want to do this is because if we take it to a parenting aspect, right? Oftentimes your parent, your mother, your father is going to continuously tell you, hey, don't do this thing or else you'll get into this kind of trouble. And it's unfortunate that we are continuously doing these things, expecting something different. And I want to be the parent to continuously tell you, but to get you to understand that you can win on today, right? So luckily, you are in beautiful hands. So and it's my expertise, right? It's the thing that I do that I coach people on right now, which is so amazing. I'm talking about transformation after transformation, conversation after conversation, impact after impact. Now, I want to be a little bit more specific on today when it comes to the language. Yes, we understand that there are some things that we say, but let's be specific and go with specific phrases. So I've written out 4 different phrases that I believe can help us. The reason why I want to bring emphasis to this is because it becomes bad habits that leak out of our mouths in every conversation. So if we focus on changing these things, if we are aware that these words or these phrases are damaging, then our environment changes. Our life drastically changes. The people that are around us become to be affected not just in a negative, but in a good way, right? You don't have to be a person to say, hey, well, I'm just a blunt person. We already established in prior episodes that that's not a great mindset to have, that you just don't care about what you're saying. But in this moment, I want you to care about it. I care about it because I want you to conquer. I want you to be greater and I want you to be better on today after this conversation, right? So, my focus is to make you aware that this is damaging to everything that you're building. Like, just imagine you're building a house, but your foundation is shaky, right? You don't want to build on shaky ground because then everything else that you build on that becomes unsafe. It becomes unstable, right? And nobody wants to build on a shaky ground. So that's also not an environment that you purposely want to create. Now, it's unfortunate that we create these things without us being aware of it. We're just doing the things and we're not thinking if it affects anybody or if it just affects us. We just continuously do, say, speak, and not paying attention to what the outcome is, right? So let's go on to these 4 different phrases, right? Phrase number 1, which it hits home for me because of the fact that I I can't tell you how many times I've spoken about this to so many different people, and there has been a drastic change in their conversation, especially when it comes to them talking to me about certain things about this phrase. So, phrase number 1 is it's expensive. How many of us, by show of hands, right? Well, you can't see my hand. There you go. How many of us, by a show of hands, have been someone that would say, hey, this is expensive, right? Oh, these shoes are expensive. These nail services are expensive. This restaurant that you're gonna go to, oh, that's expensive. Immediately, what happens in your mind and your subconscious is it rejects it. So you don't even realize it, but you're actually saying no without saying no verbally. And I want to change this because I want you to say yes to things that you can actually have. Just because it has a high price on it doesn't mean that you can't have it. You can have any and everything that you want, right? Like some more examples could be concerts. Some of us might have thought, well, the Drake concert, the Beyonce concert, the Bad Bunny concert, oh, those are expensive. Those tickets are just expensive. You're immediately saying no. And I want to tap into your language. I want to tap into your mindset so we can change that from it being a no to a yes, right? Another thing that I believe has drastically changed within, I want to say the last basically the last decade, to be honest, is many people used to say it's expensive to travel. And I love that people are now traveling a lot. Before, when I tell you, even myself, I used to say, man, getting on a flight, that's too expensive. I'm never gonna do that. I'm cool with just staying in New York. I'm cool with just taking the bus and the train, a couple bucks, and I get to my destination and I'm good. I'm cool with seeing the same things over and over. But I had to face reality that I was unhappy. That's one of the reasons why I'm no longer living in New York. Because when you live in the same area for a certain amount of time, you become complacent, you become stagnant, your joy starts to leave, your happiness is nowhere to be found. And we're like, what do I do? So I had to change my language and say, hey, it's no longer expensive, right? It's not expensive. It's just of high value. It's of a high price, right? I need you to also understand that there are many things in life that we should be saying no to, but we don't. Like, just imagine the relationships that we say yes to, but we're supposed to say no. Just imagine the that extra $500 that you should be saving, but you said yes to spending it. Just imagine you, I don't know, saying no to a job, or better yet, saying yes to a job that you should be saying no to. And am I saying, oh, say no to all jobs? No. But there are specific things that are designed purposely for you. I'm not going to, like, you got to look at it from a standpoint. If we're talking about jobs, what they do is they filter out all the applicants that apply to the job. They're not just gonna take you, oh, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all y'all get the job. No, we're gonna go through all of you guys and we're gonna filter to see who's the best candidate. You have to do the same thing when it comes to your job, when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to especially money opportunities. You have to filter those things out and say, hey, this opportunity may not be a good opportunity. It is an opportunity, but it's not one for me. This job may be a good job, but it's just not the job for me. This relationship, this person might be great, but it's just not for me, right? We have to understand that. Now, I want to go into one that I believe is a little deeper, right? Phrase number 2 that I've heard many people say, especially recently, and I find it to be a curse word that comes out of my mouth if I were to say it, which is why I don't say it, is I can't do it. How many of us have been in a place where they stated, I can't do it? How many times has someone saw that you were able to do something, but you, not even them, you told yourself, I can't do it? You know what that does? I'll tell you. Thanks for asking. Your mind and subconscious does not bother to execute. Oh my God. That hurt. That hurt my soul because that is execution is so critical. Oh my God. Like if we can focus on execution over perfection, that'll help a plethora amount of people, I tell you. But your mind and subconscious does not even bother to execute. This keeps you bound and stops you from even attempting. So that gig that you thought that you can't do it. That job that you felt that you wasn't able to do because of all the things it required, just go out and do it. That skill that you're like, you know what, I'm not going to be as best as everybody else. I need you to do it. Why? Because when you, what happens is it paralyzes you when you say, I can't do it. So now you're stuck, you're bound, you don't do anything, and then you end up living in the place that you're living in, which creates sadness, which leads to depression, which have you second guessing, should I live because I can't do it? But who told you that? You did. I had to give the the high pitched voice for that. You. But you said that to yourself. You were the person that are speaking against your own destiny. You're speaking against your own ability to even be able to do a thing. There's a quote that I live by, and it says, the man that thinks he can and the man that thinks he cannot are both right. So this shows, do you even believe it? Right? This reveals where your faith level really is. For all us Christians that say, I believe in God, and they can quote scripture and all of the different things, but you stating that you cannot do something is a direct correlation to how you believe in yourself. Better yet, because you feel like you can't do it, is a direct correlation and a disrespect to your God that you said that you serve, because he wrote in his scripture that you can do all things, not some things, not a few things. You can do all things in Christ, in him, because he's the one that gives you strength. So I say all this to say, let's eliminate I can't to do it and focus on the ability that we actually can, because I can't do it is a lie. It's just a complete lie that you decide to live, you decide to believe, you decide to hold on to, and that's not anything that we need to keep at all. Let's throw that away. The third phrase that I've heard recently, actually very recently, is the phrase, I'm not qualified. Now, there is a few perspectives on this, but I want to take this in this specific direction, right? When you say I'm not qualified, your mind and subconscious thinks you need to be more than who you are. You need to be more than who you are. So essentially, you start saying to yourself, I'm not good enough. And you are. You're more than enough. You're more than what you need to be, or not more than what you need to be. You're more than what you realize you are to be. There is power, there is strength, there is a great execution, there is a great knowledge, there is great intellectual great intellectuality within you. So you need to focus on I am qualified. Or you need to focus on I know who I am. These qualifications does not define me, right? What this does when you state I'm not qualified, it attacks your self-esteem. So now you're no longer someone that you fully believe in yourself, which continues to stop your growth, which continues to keep you bound and stuck. This also lowers your confidence. So all of the happy-go-lucky people, all the ones that, okay, I can just conquer everything, that tremendously lowers because you look at the qualifications, I'm not qualified for this. But who said that? You did. You did. So we gonna talk differently on today, right? It strips away the faith in you. I'm sorry. It strips away the faith you have in doing and achieving. So your faith lowers. Notice how all of these things are correlated, right? These words and these phrases actually correlate with each other. It's like literally, it's almost like steps, which is crazy. This is a mind-blowing moment for myself. But it strips away your belief in the ability to do something or to achieve something. Now you're going to run away because it's like I'm not qualified, therefore I can't do it, right? And if I can't do it, it's something that I might deem expensive. I might not have all that it takes to do the thing, and when in actuality you do. Here's a story. I want to say I don't even know the year. I just know I was in New York and I was applying for this job, for an IT position. And with the IT position, I was looking at the qualifications. I was looking at the description and everything, and I'm reading everything, and I run into the part where it says, "What are the qualifications that you need, right, to get the job?" And the first thing it says is you need a bachelor's degree or higher. I ain't got not one lick of college experience. I have not one college credit. I ain't take no advanced classes in high school, none of that. I was just trying to get out. And I immediately got discouraged and disappointed. I was hurt. I'm like, dang, I don't even want to finish the rest of this because I'm just not qualified. Like and you see how that makes you quit? You see how that frustrates you and just stirs things up, right? So something told me, because I didn't want to read the rest of the article, but something told me to continue to read after it, right? And what I saw after it said, you need a bachelor's degree or higher, right, literally right under it is another bullet point, and it says 3 years of experience or more. Ooh, 3 years of relative experience or more. I've already had 5 at that point. I'm like, now because I aborted to stop reading it, and I said I'm not going to disqualify myself. I want to continuously read this. I read the thing that gave me what I needed to hear. And which is so interesting, I got the interview. I finished applying, got the interview. When I got the interview, there were other people that looked better than me as far as like appearance wise, in terms of they were suited and booted. They had watches and cufflinks and ties that matches the socks and all of the different stuff, right? So I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Could you believe that I got the job over them? And I would have quit this even before finishing the application. But I got the job. And you want to know what's even better? I got the job and I had no degree. They didn't get the job and they both had two different types of degrees. One for business and another one in IT, in computer science. But I ain't got neither one. So then fast forward, I started talking to my boss, on a personal level. And I said, hey, you got these candidates that were more qualified than me. How come you didn't hire them, but you hired me? And he said, well, the fact of the matter is you are actually more qualified than them. Me? Keep talking. I need to elaborate because experience weighs more than degrees. I kid you not. Degree experience weighs more than degrees. I've already had 5 years of experience in this already in IT. They have no degrees. I mean, they have no experience, but they only have the 4 years or more, however long it took them to do it. They had that much of um of I guess time into your college degree, but not actual hands-on experience. Hands-on experience will always will always outwork any written certification. Absolutely. And he also said the reason why I also hired you is because I don't have to teach you everything from scratch. Because you've already been doing this. I just have to show you what it is that we're doing and you just follow a suit. And that's exactly what happened. So I say all this to say that you need to shift your language because qualifications is not what defines you, right? For my college students, right, I also need you to understand, and this is a sidebar, that college has shifted. Like, I knew this, but like I was listening to a podcast episode of someone else's recently, and it just like it was it was crazy. The gems they were giving, but basically college has shifted. It is no longer what it used to be, right? Similar to how jobs is a way and not the only way to make money, so is college. College is a way to learn, but not the only way to learn. And even more so, I didn't even write this in my notes, but even more so when it comes to college, going back to it, you have to filter it. You have to find out which ones are for you. And when you find out which ones are for you, there's like it's a process. You don't just go to a college and then just hope for the best. You'll be wasting money. When you in high school, middle school, elementary school, you're not wasting money. You wasting time when you don't do your work. But when you in college, you wasting time and money. Cause that couple $1,000, sometimes we paying $20,000 for a semester. And what happens is we're not taught how to leverage debt. We're not taught how to get in good debt or what's the difference between good debt and bad debt. So we just get into it and we label it all as bad. And that's just your perspective because it ain't. There is a such thing as good debt and bad debt. There is a such thing as good money and bad money. There is a such thing as good opportunities, bad opportunity. Simple, right? There's a quote that I heard recently that states there's always someone else that don't know what they're doing and getting paid twice as much as you are. So when we think about when we're looking at the qualifications, I need you to understand because sometimes, and this is for my entrepreneurs, this is for my creatives, right? This is for my leaders. Um, what happens is we create these fake qualifications and state I'm not qualified or underqualified. But there is somebody that don't even know half of what you know. They're not even half as good as you are. They're not even half as determined as you are, but they're making the money. They're making 10 times as more. Like I know quite a few people, unfortunately, but it's not even unfortunate. It's one thing that they taught me is execution, is attempting, is doing. That's the difference between you and them. You were focused on perfection. You were focused on learning what you needed to. You were focused on, hey, I got to get everything right. I got to do all the research, and I got to all that, which is cool. But if there, if it doesn't lead to immediate action, then you're wasting time because you can't develop your knowledge to be better if you don't execute. You can execute, or those that are executors, they end up developing their expertise because of the fact that they are because they you have something to go off of. You have data. If I'm just watching YouTube all the time, I don't got no data except I'm running up the numbers on my watch time. That's it. And your watch time doesn't do anything for you at all. So let's focus on changing the way we talk and shifting the way we talk so we can move with everything that's within us so we can operate as we should be operating, right? The last and final phrase that I want to show emphasis to is the phrase, this is too hard. Oh my goodness. I could talk on days about this. But your mind, when you say this, your mind and subconscious automatically equates an easy or learnable thing to being difficult. It's not the fact that the thing is hard. It's that you made it hard. You made it difficult, more difficult than what it needed to be. Everything is going to be difficult because you've never done it. Everything is going to be difficult when it's your first time. Everything is going to be difficult when you're not consistent with it. It's just going to be, right? The other thing is that it stems from having fear, and fear keeps us bound. Fear keeps us stuck, like the other phrases, right? This is too hard. Oh, this opportunity is too hard. Oh, this relationship is too hard. This even learning this thing is too hard. I don't got the time because it's too hard. No, it's not too hard. We just got to refocus and rephrase what we're saying and do differently, right? So going back to it, right? This is this is too hard comes from the word fear, right? Like I think it stems from the root, which is fear. And fear is comes from never doing something or not doing it often. So either it's just your first time, which is understandable, or you're just not consistently doing it. You just, hey, I'm a this trading is too hard. Hey, this I don't know, being a hairstylist is too hard. Hey, driving a car. I know some people right now that don't drive because they say, "Oh, it is hard to drive. I suck at multitasking." Man, you going to multitask cuz we always, I don't want to say always, but there is there's moments in our life where we have no choice but to multitask, especially when it comes to my parents. Not my parents, but when it comes to parents in general. Especially when it comes to parents, you're going to be multitasking. You got to hold your baby, you got to, especially depending on how young they are, you got to hold them a certain position so that way as they drink, that they're drinking properly. Then you gotta then what if you're carrying your baby outside and then you gotta hold the bags and then you gotta press the button for you to walk and then you gotta open the car door and all the things. You're doing multiple things at once. Multiple things at once. Don't let a hard thing be the thing that stops you from doing a thing, period. It's better to do the hard things because the moment you do that, you realize this thing wasn't even that difficult. I was one of them that I didn't even attempt to drive for years. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I started driving at the age of 25. Thankfully, I did because immediately I didn't have to, for rental cars, I didn't have to pay for the young driver's fee, which is beautiful. So I've never witnessed an extra $200-300 just because I'm young, which is wild. But nonetheless, I fear driving. And I made a determination. I said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to book the classes. I'm going to book the um the the hotel, and I'm going to book my trip, my flight, right? And I'm going to book my rental car, all these things in advance. Cuz if I don't follow through with it, if I chicken out, I lose all of that money. So I made it where it it would have just been a really waste of money. Like it was like almost over. It was about a little over 1,000. I spent a good amount of money. No, not even. I spent like two, maybe 2,500 on everything. That's because it was a lot going on. It was the classes. It was the yeah. But nonetheless, the day come and I have to go pick up the car. I pick up the car, I get in there, and I'm just like, yo, this is. I'm nervous. And you know what I also did when I got into the car? I told myself, and I don't recommend everybody to do this, but this helped me. I told myself, I said, Ron, if you don't drive effectively and safe, there is a high chance that you're going to die. And that weight, some people would have just ran and said, you know, nah, I ain't about to do this. But it challenged me to focus on the road. Granted, when I first started driving, I had my issues because obviously it was my first time driving. But as I continued to drive and so on and so forth, I've developed my skills and it got better. But I take that mindset with me every time I'm behind the wheel. Every single time. That's why I drive the way I do, because that's why I'm alert the way I am, because of the fact that if I'm not alert, I die. Or if there's someone else in the car, we die. So I make sure I'm 10 toes down, right? Um, uh, sorry, I got a little sidetracked. So, fear is also something that is taught. Whatever is taught, you can always unlearn. Whatever you learn, you can always unlearn. So, the question that I want to ask you is, what are the things that you need to unlearn? Those things are attached to fear, which is keeping you stuck, which is keeping you bound. For example, some of the things that we might need to unlearn are cursing. It's cursing, right? Some of us curse a lot. Every word that comes out of our mouth is a curse. It may be holding you back because the rooms that you're trying to get into requires you to have a different type of language and not speak like that. Some people say to speak white. There's no such thing. I don't want, we're not going there with speaking white, just speaking proper, just understanding your environment and where you are around, right? Number two, snoozing your alarm is something we gotta unlearn, right? That is something because if you set an alarm, you set it intentionally for you to get up at this time. But you want to snooze it for an extra 5, 10, 20 minutes. Sometimes people snooze it 6 times. What's the point of putting it at this time when you could have just set it for the amount of times that you snoozed it, right? There another thing is gossiping. That's a big one for me. Like I was never a gossiper, but I found myself when I get into certain groups of people because they gossip, you become a gossiper. You start to pick up those habits and those traits. So I had to quickly, phew, I ain't trying to completely learn how to gossip. I don't want nothing to do with that, right? The other thing that I believe is powerful when it comes to this is something that we got to unlearn is starting and stopping. Starting and stopping. I'm going to start this relationship. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to start this trait. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to start this skill and I'm going to stop it. You got to see it through. You have to see it through. Many things we won't reap the benefits unless we have endurance through the process. So I encourage you to focus on enduring through the process that you currently are so you can reap the benefits that you sought out for you to get in the first place, right? The other thing that I need you to understand is not only is fear something that is learned and can be unlearned, but fear is also bad habits. It's habitual. Just like doing good things end up being a habit, but it's a good habit, fear is something that is a bad habit. So, and I'll leave you with this quote, right? Is a quote from the book by Tim Ferriss. The book is called The 4 Hour Work Week. And he states, in order to conquer fear, you must define it. The reason why we fear so much or we're stuck in fear is because we're not defining what fear looks like to us, right? For some, for some fear is I'm just scared of doing the thing and I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't like how it makes me feel makes me feel. But for others, it's this shows what or who I'm reverencing. So when you reverence something, you're giving something honor. You're giving something the space and it's like almost sacred to you, right? Now, my question to you, and this is sidebar, but what are you reverencing? What is the thing that you're giving reverence to? Because that thing is what you are fearing, and also it may be keeping you stuck. it may be the thing that you might need to eliminate. So, just a quick overview. The phrases that we're using versus the phrases that we need to use, right? We want to switch them out. Instead of saying it's expensive, you should be saying it's high value or it's pricey. Why do I say that? Because now it shifts your mindset from I can't have it to I'm going to plan to have it. That makes sense, right? Number two, instead of saying I can't do it, say I have to learn how to do it. When you say I learn how to do it, you're no longer bound, but it sparks activity for you to be able to learn something. If you don't ever learn it, then you'll never have the ability to be able to do it and do it effectively, right? Number three, instead of saying I'm not qualified, I want you to state these are three different ways that we can rephrase that, right? Number one is instead of saying I'm not qualified, state this is not my opportunity. Because sometimes the reason why we're not qualified to do a thing is because this is not the thing we were meant to be doing in the first place. I could go in on that, but I don't got enough time, right? Number two, instead of saying I'm not qualified, state I need to become more valuable. Or, and the last one is I need to educate myself more. Because sometimes not being qualified shows your lack of knowledge in the thing. You can't say I'm a barber, but you don't focus on gaining the knowledge to be a barber. Just because you're doing it, that don't mean that you're doing it in the best. People would deny you because you're not doing it at your best because you're not knowledgeable of all the things. There's specific tools. There's a science to some of these things, right? That we just completely abort because I'm not qualified to do the thing, so I'm good, right? And the last one, instead of saying this is too hard, state this is challenging because whatever is a challenge can be changed. If you write out the word challenge, you take certain letters out and you'll see the word change. So that is it. That's all I have for you guys on today, family. I encourage you guys to reframe and rephrase what you are actively and currently saying because it is a part of why you're stuck. It is a part of why you're not moving forward. It is a part of your happiness. It is a part of why you're not in the relationship that you want to be in. It is a part of why people aren't acknowledging you of your expertise because of your language. You are more than capable and you have the ability to do the thing or things because it could be one or multiple, right? You have the ability. You have to believe it within yourself, right? You got this. This is the end of the episode. I appreciate you guys for joining and for listening. And if you haven't yet, I suggest that you click the like button and subscribe to get a heads up for not previous, but the next episode coming up, as well as I have merch. So we are actively live now. It is no longer the pre-order sale anymore, so you will be purchasing full price, but it is well worth it if you are someone that wants to express your perspective through fashion. Just click the link. It's Perspective Apparel. It's Perspective Apparel. All these links will be found in the description. I'll see you on the next one, family, because your perspective matters.